Howdy everybody, it's Anakin, and guess what? You guys have been asking for it, and I have finally made some time to give you guys a tour of my theater room. We're going to go ahead and walk around. I'll show you all the different features of it, and I've kind of been forced into this because me and my wife sold our house, and this is the second to last weekend that I will actually be in this house. So the new buyer is extremely lucky. This theater room, I designed it myself in 3D. I've had it now for, oh gosh, probably 6 years. And I designed it really when HD TVs first started kind of popping on the scene. So let me go show you guys around, okay? Here we go. If you'll notice right here down this hallway, we're going to unattach here from the tripod. And let me show you guys. This is where I have been advertising the theater room right here as part of my sale pitch of my house. It's kind of wrinkled now. It's been in the closet for a few weeks. But let's come on around here, and this is the double doors that go into the theater room. So let's walk on in. All right. Here we go, here we go. Here's the theater room. This thing is pretty crazy. I designed it all myself, and I had a crew come in for several years. I kind of thought about doing this, and I really wanted to find the right kind of remodeling company to do it. And I got it done. You know, I got it done by a local company here in my town. And let's see, this is it here. Now this is going to be a little weird. The room doesn't always look like this, okay, because this has been staged for selling my house. But let me go ahead and walk around a little bit, and I'll show you some of the features of it. Right now, this whole back wall back here, you see all those shelves. Those shelves are designed like that, kind of offset to where they get further up. I kind of thought that was a cool look. They match on both sides. And I've got various figurines and so forth up there. You know, there's this little movie franchise called Star Wars. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Anyway, I've got a few figurines. If you'll notice up there at the very top, I have a shelf actually dedicated to just my, my replica lightsaber up there. That is a 67-inch DLP, basically kind of custom made to, or custom fit to go inside that cavity there. And if you'll notice, I did the shelving down here below kind of at an angle as well. I like all kinds of strange angles. I don't know if you guys can kind of see up there. Everything in this whole room is kind of a, you know, either a 45 or kind of a weird design to it. And I did all that in 3D Studio Max. And that ceiling fan is kind of a wild ceiling fan. I never saw another one like it. I found this one time, and I thought it was too much money. But then I done some digging, got on eBay one day, and I found this ceiling fan, the same one I'd been looking at, and I found it for like half price, brand new or something. So I was like, I gotta have it. Very, very cool. Anyway, let's walk around a little bit. I'm gonna set up the tripod again, and I'm gonna go show you guys a few of the features of the room. All right, so now that we got the camera on the tripod, I'll show you guys a few things about the room. As I noted earlier, this is a 67-inch DLP. It's a Mitsubishi. This is actually the second TV that's been in this room. Full HD, of course, 1080p. It's actually 3D ready, but I have not gotten any of the 3D stuff. And since, of course, we sold our house, I won't be doing 3D, at least on this TV. So let me show you a couple of things that I designed in here just to give you guys some ideas of some of the stuff that's out there. One of the things that bothers me about a lot of theater rooms is there's no access to get to any of the wiring. And if you'll notice, do you see any wiring here anywhere? There is no wiring, okay? Nothing is showing anywhere. Everything you see is completely built in. TV, speakers, home, you know, all the theater equipment, everything is built in. But let me show you something, because for a TV, you know you always got to hook something up at some point. So here's what I did, and hopefully you'll be able to see this fairly well. You'll notice here, this TV is on a platform. I built this entire platform to be able to come all the way out and get completely behind the TV. Even while the TV is on, I can pull this out. Everything on here is completely hooked up, ready to go, and I have full access to the TV. There's a huge cavity back here where I can do everything I need to do. But, you know, at the same time, you'll notice it comes out all the way out here. there's not really much of a reason for me to get back there very often because the TV is actually fully hooked up, and really in this room, everything is set up through the receiver. So I'm very, very, you know, conscious of trying to make sure everything is controlled in one single device. If you'll notice up here, here's my, my Wii sensor bar. I have the Connect right here. And then I'm actually using a converter for the PlayStation 3 for my Harmony remote. I use a Harmony 880 for the remote for the whole room. This controls every single thing in the room. I almost got to the point of where I was going to try to control the lighting as well, but I never got around to that point. I'll show you the lighting in a little bit. So here we go. Whole thing is set up for easy access, and you just slide this back, and I can almost slide it with one hand. There's just almost no resistance whatsoever. So you'll see all that now back in its place. So now let's go to the next thing. If you'll notice here, this panel here comes up. This is the this has got the PS3. Actually, I'm not sure if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Nope, you're not going to be able to see it. Let me go ahead and move the camera down a little bit so you can actually see what's going on down there. All right, there we go. Okay. You'll have to see what I'm talking about, hopefully. This is the, I've got one of the old fat PS3s. This is my PS3 right here. Over here in the corner hiding a little bit, there's my Wii standing up over on the side. And again, you may not be able to see it because the room is very, very dark. Inside here, this actually goes back 3 foot. Okay, this whole section goes back 3 foot. There is a 12-inch full-size subwoofer inside this area right here. It's huge. It's just crazy. That is all that's inside that cabinet. On this other cabinet over here, this one also opens. I'm kind of weird about symmetry. I like to make sure that you know, what I design or whatever is as symmetrical as I can. I'm just kind of weird that way. So over here, this one actually opens up the opposite way. Over in here, I've got a home theater PC. I use a gyration wireless keyboard and a what they call the gyration wireless mouse. This mouse works up in the air, and you know, you just sit at your couch and you can do everything up in the air. It's very similar. In fact, I think this company was the same company that built the Wiimote design for the Nintendo Wii. So anyway, these guys did it a long time ago. I also have my Xbox in here, and then I have my power conditioner for the entire room. And that's everything in there. And remember what I said about symmetry. This middle section, which way do you think it's going to open? Is it going to open over there to the right? Is this going to open to the left? Nope. You know what I had to do? I had to make sure it opened straight. I know it's a little weird. Anyway, inside here, I want to show you guys basically what this has got. This is the same kind of scenario as up here on the TV. This is my DVD player. This DVD player does NTSC and PAL. I want to make sure I was able to play all the different regions in the world. And then because I do buy some various crazy, you know, music, mostly music DVDs from various countries besides the US and Canada. And they come in PAL format or PAL format. I'm sure all you guys out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In the middle here, I have a Denon 3808 audio video receiver. And then under that is my Time Warner HD cable box. And what I wanted to show you on this, if you come right here, this is the same scenario. This entire thing pulls out, everything. All my cables, all my wiring, everything back here in the back is completely accessible. And I'll do some close-ups on some of this later on while I'm talking to kind of show you. So, and again, that just slides right back in there. It's fully accessible all the time. And if you'll notice, all these panels right here, the panels are actually speaker mesh. I had this designed to where this is all just plain old speaker mesh with some wire behind it just to give it a little bit of body. And if you'll notice here, you can't really see through it. You know, whenever the equipment is on, you can kind of, you know, see some lights a little bit behind it, but not much. But the remote works perfectly fine through this speaker mesh. So you don't have to have glass, you don't have to have it open or anything like that. So everything is completely hidden, and that way my wife doesn't go crazy for crazy lights and wires and speakers and other stuff. So let's talk about that. Now that I mentioned speakers, let's talk about the speakers. I mentioned over here on this side, this is where my subwoofer is. Now that subwoofer is inside this entire cabinet, and of course that adds a little bit of extra bass and everything. It's kind of crazy. But let's go up above the TV. Let me change the camera. We're going to look up above the TV a little bit. All right. So we can kind of see everything. All right. You always know we got to the right angle when you can see the lightsaber. Okay, so anyway, shut up. All right, this is the center channel. Again, I don't know how well you can see it. I've got all the lights on in this room as much as I can. The center channel is actually kicked up like this. It's at an angle, and it's pointing directly down right into the middle of the room, so that you've got the best sound coming in. Because you don't want it, if you're going to have it way up this high, you don't want it to go straight out. You want it to angle and come straight in, right to the middle of where the audience is. Same thing over here. I have two bookshelf style speakers on each side. They're actually worked into the design. I actually found the speakers that I wanted. I got the dimensions of them. I built everything in. The speakers, by the way, I went with a complete Bowers & Wilkins sound system. For you guys over in, I guess, England and Europe, Bowers & Wilkins is huge. In the US, not so much, but they are still very highly regarded. I got them through a specialty shop over in Houston. They specialize in these Bowers & Wilkins. They're kind of like from what I understand, they're kind of like the Bose of England and Britain, and even some of Europe. So I really like the sound of them. They have a very warm sound. So I did the entire room that way. So the room over here, we've got two Bowers & Wilkins on each side. Those are just my standard bookshelf speakers. The 12-inch sub here, and then I've got my center channel up here. I'll show you in a little bit. Whenever we get down to the rest of the room, we've got two surround up in the ceiling, and then in the very back of the room, I have two more back there. So it's actually a full 7.1 surround sound setup. Yeah, I know, you're probably saying, well, no, nothing comes in 7.1. Yeah, that's very true. Hardly anything out there content-wise is provided in 7.1. There's, I don't know, maybe, I think there's like seriously under 20 Blu-rays right now that have full 7.1 surround sound. But that's fine because games do have 7.1 surround sound. Especially if you play them on the PC, almost all DirectX games have full 7.1 surround sound built in at any given time. So that makes it very, very fun for that. All right, let's talk about one of the other features. If you'll notice here, I'm going to step out of the way. If you'll notice on each side of the TV, there's kind of these columns right here, each side. Let me show you what that is. And I don't know, again, you probably won't be able to see very well from here, and I'll do some close-ups again. This whole thing comes out, and you can't really tell too much from what side it is, but both of these are huge CD cases. Each one holds about 800 CDs. Let me grab the camera and I'll walk around with it a little bit to show you these. We've gotten to the point of where we probably need to start kind of zooming in a little. The cabinets on the side, let me tell you, I'm old school when it comes to music. I have a lot of CDs. I like CDs. I don't care what you say. MP3s are fine, but I actually built these because I had nowhere to go with my CDs at the time. I had all these racks and racks and racks of CDs, and it just seemed silly for me to have them like that. So right here on each side of the TV, because I was going to listen to most of my music in here anyway, that is where all of the CDs are. So I actually ran out of space because I buy a lot of CDs. We'll come over here and look on this side. See if we can get a better view here. And there's all of that. All right, and we'll close that up. And speaking of other hidden things about this room, let me back off again so you guys can kind of get your bearings and look around. All right, if you'll notice there's also stair-stepped shelving on each side of the TV. You'll notice that there and there. And then you've also got a shelf there. And if you look up here, there's also kind of a weird trapezoidal shape up there above the TV. Let's take a quick look at some of this. Right here, this little part here, that opens up. And it does that on both sides. If you notice over there, that's what it looks like when it's closed. And that's what it looks like when it's open. Again, full symmetrical. So let's close that. Same thing over here on the side. If you'll notice here, this is a another hidden shelf, and another hidden shelf down here. If you'll notice, you'll see some gaming accessories in there. And then if you come down, you'll see some more gaming accessories. There's my Soul Calibur Hori fighting stick. And again, as you look over here, on the other side, that's what they look like when they're closed. There's no, there's no handles. There's no, no discerning evidence whatsoever that decides it's a shelf or hidden, hidden cabinet or anything. I kind of like it that way. I didn't want a bunch of handles and knobs and other garbage. There's that speaker again, kind of tied in. Let me kind of get up so you see that's basically kind of kicked out, also angled, looking like it's coming into the middle of the room. Same thing with that center channel. Let's see if we can get a better shot of the center channel. I know this is very, very dark. That's one of the other things I want to talk about. The room is completely black. If you look down here, it's black floor, black paint on everything, black ceiling, if you'll notice. There's that crazy fan again. And so you'll notice over here again, like I was saying, there's the shelf and cabinets opened up over here. We're going to close those back. Now you'll notice over here, I don't have as many things on this side of the room. I don't know why. I kind of moved some things around for the showing of the house. But here we've got some Xbox games. Down here we've got some Wii, we've got some PS3, and then we jump down to some crazy movies over here. And then the same thing kind of over here. I've got almost all my Blu-rays out and some other DVDs. Look, it's the Shield box set. If you have not seen it, watch it. It's amazing. Anyway, I have a bunch of Matrix stuff. It's pretty cool there. I've got some other stuff set up or whatever. It's pretty crazy. In fact, I have a set of lights that are not on. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, there they are. All right, so the next thing is that trapezoidal, remember right there above the TV, I had that trapezoidal kind of shelf there. I'm going to see if I can open it while you guys see. That's more DVDs. Craziness. So anyway, there's that, and that closes up again. There's no handles, no edges or anything. But if you'll look, let me show you if I can show it to you. Right here, for example, on this, if you can see that, that's actually cut out. There's a handhold right here, and you put your hand to open that. That's the way I had everything routed to where you can't see anything. But you can still go up and open it, and it's basically right in the right spot for you to go up and open that at any given time. So that's the way all of the cabinets and shelving and everything are. All right, let's see what else. Okay, this another shelf all the way around the room. I don't know if you caught that. That is all the way around the whole room. That is a 12-inch shelf. Goes all the way around and comes back. And I bought all, except for one, of the entire Force Unleashed figurine set whenever I was building the room. I got them all on eBay because they'd been out for a while. And the only one I never got was the Darth Vader with his mask off. It was very, very expensive. It apparently was one of the most rare ones. That is the only one I am missing, unfortunately. They wanted like, I don't know, at the time it was like $300 for one on eBay, and I couldn't do it. The most I ever paid for one, I think, was like 60 bucks. Anyway, enough about Star Wars. You don't want to hear about Star Wars. You want to see a theater room. All right, so anyway, coming back, I'm going to step back again to the back of the room to kind of show you the whole room here. All right, if you'll notice again, like I was saying about the speakers, we're almost in the back corner of the room now. Let me come up and say, there's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's one right there next to the light. That's one of the surround sounds. And there is the other surround sound. Again, I know the video is probably pretty dark because the room is pitch black. And then we'll come around, and here is the back speaker in the back wall, and the other one right here in the back wall. And so again, like I was saying, kind of full 7.1 surround sound there. Here is basically the only seating right now. This is the basically just me and my wife can come in here and watch TV at the moment. But normally that's not true. That, you know, we used to have basically a full like living room set, a couch, a TV. I mean, sorry, a couch, a love seat, and a chair all in here. We've had, I don't know, maybe 10 people at one time sitting in this room watching you know, a movie or whatever really loud. If you'll notice too, this is just, again, kind of for show, but that's my Rock Band ottoman and my Harmony 880 remote. Let me move that and I'll show you how the Rock Band ottoman works. The entire Rock Band plastic instrument set for all the way up to 3. My drums are actually in there, believe it or not, in the bottom. My keyboard, my 2 guitars, all the other accessories and everything are inside the ottoman. I picked that ottoman up on Slick Deals one day for like next to nothing. And I'll tell you, it's like a really nice piece of furniture besides being for rock bands. So, and it was black and it went with the room. One of the other things I want to show you too is if you'll notice these red drapes on this side of the room here, on the left-hand side, if you're looking at the TV, those are there actually blocking windows. There's actually a set of windows there. That's the front of the house. And we've got light diffusing shades in the window behind the drapes. So even in the middle of the brightest day in the summer, this room literally is pitch black. And I mean pitch black. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. So there is the red drapes. But I actually read about this online. The drapes actually suck up a lot of sound. And because I had to put them on one side of the room to try to class it up, guess what we did? We went over and did exactly the same thing on the other side. Now, is there anything behind that? No, of course not. That's just a standard inside wall in the house. However, to make sure that the sound was evenly dampened on both sides of the room, I added that second set of drapes. So, you know, again, that was functional as well as being symmetrical. Here's a good shot of the whole room. I'm kind of standing almost to the back. The room is 25 foot by 12 foot. So it's just about twice as long as it is wide. And it actually feels not quite those kind of dimensions because, like I said earlier, that entire entertainment section down there, all that cabinetry, is about 3 feet deep. So, you know, it doesn't feel like 25 feet long. It feels more like about 22 once you're actually in the room. So, let me show you one other weird thing while I'm at it, because I'm here talking and you guys are still watching, hopefully. Because of the room, because of the way that my house is, I had to set up our computers for me and my wife. I had to set up our computers here in the theater room. And that was unfortunate because I didn't want to do that, but we didn't really have anywhere else in the house to set them up very easily. So this isn't where they normally go. But if you'll notice back here, this is my gaming setup and everything. I use a 37-inch monitor for my standard gaming rig. All right, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think my mic went out there for a minute. Anyway, you'll notice here my gaming setup. I wasn't real happy about having to put my stuff in here, but this is where me and my wife come to after the kids kind of go to sleep and all that. I'll show you my gaming setup here while I'm at it. There's my G15 and my G5. Those are my Logitech mice and keyboard. You'll notice my area is littered with gadgets of every type and a nice Sonic drink. Anyway, here is my 37-inch gaming and PC monitor, and then my secondary monitor over here. I actually have multiple inputs. These are both actual TVs instead of just monitors because they have all the different kinds of inputs: HDMI, component, composite, you know, the DVI, VGA, everything. So at any given time, they can be a dual monitor setup or for either PC and my Xbox as well as PS3. Over here I've got my Xboxes set up here. Believe it or not, there's the second one is just there. I do some testing on it from time to time. The other one I use for most of my standard gaming. There's my HD PVR up there on top with my X41s. This area, you know, is kind of my temporary setup. Whenever I get my new house, you guys will see my real setup. Right now I'm kind of pared down to just these two PCs. I actually have 8 PCs usually set up for all my rendering, video editing, audio editing, you know, game recording, everything. So right now I'm kind of running on as a skeleton setup here, you know, just the basic stuff. I've got the Logitech X51s, I think, which is the 5.1 full surround sound hooked up to the PC and the Xbox through the HD PVR. I have remotes for both of those monitors, and all of my, there's my PCs down here. I'll also show you guys some of, look at all the crazy audio wiring. That's how we do some of the podcast work and some of the other things online. That's how I do my live commentary. And I am going to show you guys that as well. There's the subwoofer that I put my feet on when I'm sitting there playing. And this is my wife's area. That's her PC, our one little printer there. And she even has her own little subwoofer down there on her side. So anyway, what else can I show you about this room? I think that's about it. I think I may have covered it all. The only other thing that's a little weird, I'll show you this. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it. If you'll notice, there's kind of a rope light that is on that shelf, and you can't see it, but if you'll look at the reflection in the ceiling, you'll see that that rope light go all the way around, and it's embedded in that shelf, kind of pointing up so I could light those figurines. But here's the deal. If you'll notice, if you'll follow that reflection in the ceiling, you'll notice that it starts to kind of come down. Looks like it kind of curves a bit, then goes back up, and then kind of curves back down again. Let me show you this. Let's see if it looks any different over here. You'll notice it goes up, comes back down, goes back up, and then out. The reason for that, it's kind of two different things. If you'll notice right across the middle of the room, right where that fan is hooked up, there was a load-bearing beam across the room. And I didn't want that beam to create any audio problems where it was just going to be this big beam right down in the middle of the room that would block sound and make it echo and kind of sound weird. So me and the guys working on the room, the remodeling crew, I told them what my problem was, and I wanted to figure out a good way to solve that. So we did. And what we ended up doing, if you notice again, let me show you where that is. That is actually drywall that was angled onto the load-bearing beam, and then they mudded it and created a curve right there. So it comes out, and then it curves down, and then goes back up, and then actually curves back down one more time to kind of create a wave effect in the ceiling. And that was for acoustical reasons, as well as to try to keep that beam from seeming so pronounced in the room, which is something I really didn't want. And so I think that's about it. Let's see. Yeah, there's six can lights, recessed lights in the front. You'll notice these on each side are actually kicked out and pointed over at the shelves on each side. This one right here in the middle just points straight down. I've got 3 more here that go across. I actually have 3 more back here that are independent of the rest of the room. And I have 2 switches over here. These control the backlights. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. You notice here that we've got all those lights in the room. I can just kill those just in the back now. So when I'm playing PC games or working at the computer, that back area is usually not lit. I'm also going to turn off some of these other lights. If you notice, let me turn off these lights. These lights right here are dimmable, and those are behind the characters there on each side of the TV. So I'm going to kill those. If you look up a little bit further here, there's actually a light that I didn't have on that's on the ceiling fan. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off as well. And I'm going to turn off these overhead lights as well. And now the room's getting pretty dark there, and you'll see the only lights left in the room here at the moment are the computer monitors, which are actually being reflected on the TV, and then the small puck lights underneath the shelf that go all the way around the room. And that is actually the only lights left, except for, let me cut those off as well. Now we're down. All right, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and turn off the PC monitors here as well, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Sorry. All right. And if you'll notice now, the only thing you see is the rope lighting on that top shelf where all the characters are. My wife is a huge Wizard of Oz fan, and she has all her Wizard of Oz stuff there along the back shelf. So there we go, and that is the room. I'm going to go ahead and turn on something just to give you an idea here. Let me even see what I have. I'm going to turn on the PS3. And everything should come right up. And look, it's Anakin. All right, and we are going to log into the PS3. And because the TV is a DLP, it takes just a second or so to kind of warm up a little bit and get a good bright screen on it. Let me see if I got anything in here. I have no disc in there. Can you believe it? All right, well, that is it though. I could try to let you hear the sound and everything, but obviously hearing the 7.1 surround sound over a video camera doesn't really serve you any good. But this kind of gives you an idea as well what the TV looks like to the person sitting here at the couch. Here, I'm actually going to sit at the couch, and I'll just kind of show you. This is about what you would see, and I usually sit about 6 or 8 feet or so away from the TV. Not really that far. In fact, I sit closer than you're supposed to according to the standards. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to cut the lights on one more time. Sorry I got so wordy. If you're used to me in real life, or if you're used to me on my channel, I get pretty wordy. So anyway, like I said, sadly, this is probably my last, kind of fun time I'm going to have with the room. Me and my wife have sold my house, and I am actually giving the room and everything in it as part of the sale of the house, including all of the electronics. So I am keeping my PS3 and my Xbox, but all of my computer stuff and everything go with me. But everything else in the room stays, and that was part of the sale of the house. So it's already been sold, and I'm going to miss it. So anyway, that was it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing some other videos for you guys here soon, having to do with my setup on my PC, as well as the recording setup I do for live commentary. So anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. This has been Anakin, and I'll see you next time.